have a look at the Bernie Sanders rally that took place on campus over the weekend. Plus, a look at a Little Shop of Physics show, too. All this and more coming up on CTV News. Welcome to CTV News. I'm Willis Scott.
And I'm Cassandra Ozzie. Here's your latest Fort Collins news.
Fort Collins police are asking for help locating a hit-and-run driver who struck and seriously injured a pedestrian overnight. Emergency crews were dispatched just before midnight to the intersection of Spring Park Drive and College Avenue. Authorities received reports of a man lying in the middle of the southbound lane. When they arrived, they found 53-year-old George Taylor, who, according to police, had injuries consistent with being hit by a motor vehicle. The investigation is still ongoing and no description of the vehicle has been released. Anybody who has information about the collision who has not already given a statement to police is asked to contact Officer Drew Jerkovsky at 970-416-2224.
Super Tuesday is today. 10 states are holding a caucus for both Republicans and Democrats. 2 states are holding a caucus for one party only. Colorado is holding a Democratic caucus. On Sunday, candidate Bernie Sanders came to speak at Moby Arena in Fort Collins to promote his campaign before Super Tuesday. Our reporters were on the scene to see what Bernie Sanders means to CSU.
Honest, revolutionary, and much needed.
Honesty, kindness, and peace. Honest, ethical, open-minded.
Bernie Sanders rallied Sunday at Moby Arena in front of thousands of his supporters. His visit to Fort Collins comes just before the Colorado Democratic Caucus on Tuesday, March 1st. He touched on a variety of issues ranging from economic to social issues. Senator Sanders emphasized his plan to relieve student debt and make all public colleges and universities tuition-free, as well as providing universal health care for all Americans.
I like his stance on colleges. I mean, I don't think that anyone should have to go into debt to get an education, but also on health care. I mean, that's a big one for me. I don't think that anyone should be one health emergency away from having to declare bankruptcy.
Today, a college degree in many respects is the equivalent of what a high school degree was 50 years ago. And that is why I believe that when we talk about public education, we have got to make public colleges and universities tuition-free. We should join the rest of the industrialized world, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Holland, Scandinavia, Canada, every major country on earth, in saying that health care should be available to all people as a right.
In addition to speaking on economic issues, Bernie also emphasized social inclusiveness in regard to his campaign, which is a key reason why many of his supporters identify so well with his message.
He's going for the whole my idea of intersectionality, wanting to include trans women, people of color, queer people. He wants to include all of us and make sure that our wants and our issues are at the front lines and not kind of being pushed to the side, kind of like Hillary is.
We're going to win the general election because our campaign is about bringing people together, black and white and Latino and Asian American and Native American, gay and straight, men and women, people born in this country, people who have come into this country. We are about bringing people together, not dividing them.
Neil, CTV News.
Of our show and is going on now still. For more caucus coverage, make sure to go to our website, collegian.com, for live updates.
Community members flooded into the Laurie Student Center for the Little Shop of Physics 25th anniversary open house this past Saturday.
This is the Little Shop of Physics open house. And Little Shop of Physics is a traveling hands-on science program. Once a year, we set up all of the stuff that we take out to schools, plus a whole bunch of stuff that just lives on the shelf. And we set it up and just let people engage, explore, experiment. Families come out with their kids and they spend the day going through the light room and the dark room and kind of exploring all the different projects we have that deal with electricity and magnetism and light and color and motion and force and sound and all the principles of physics. And then this year, we have a whole bunch of science partners from other CSU departments on campus. Plus, we have visitors who came from Norway who are doing a show for us, and also some hands-on stuff. We have a group of people who came from Ithaca, New York, who brought the physics bus, and the physics bus is here, and it was out on the plaza. And then we've got some big science spectacles, which are some big-scale experiments, which we did at a stadium show last year. We did at Coors Field, and we're bringing those out. So we're pulling out all the stops. We're inviting all of our science buddies. We're bringing out everything we have, and we're inviting the community.
We've got partner rooms, so we've got other organizations here at CSU and in the science education community, and they're letting students play around with bubbles and microscopes and exploring the human body and their muscles. And so it's not just physics anymore, but it's this comprehensive hands-on science awesomeness.
8,000 people, which is roughly 5% the population of Fort Collins, attended the open house. A science equipment garage sale raised over $4,000 for a trip to take the Little Shop of Physics to Namibia, Africa next year. Roughly 150 volunteers made the event possible.
Thursday evening, there was a viewing of the film Fort Collins, The Choice City for Whom, a documentary focused on the problem of racism in Fort Collins. The film, produced by Betty Aragon and directed by Sherry Dew, discussed how local residents feel about the lack of diversity in Fort Collins. According to Aragon, Stanford PhD student Clayton Hurd's research into Fort Collins and social inclusion inspired the film. The research found that minority communities, mainly Hispanics, felt discrimination by the city and community members. This is what Aragon had to say about the film.
Racism exists in Fort Collins. It is not the choice city for all of us. We all want to be part of the choice city. How do we get there?
If you would like to see the trailer for the film, search Choice City for Whom on YouTube.
Colorado State University is involving more campus departments when considering where to allocate discretionary budget funding. Previously, department vice presidents reviewed proposals from their own departments and recommended them to Provost Rick Miranda. But this year, committees made up of faculty, staff, and students reviewed budget proposals from different areas on campus and provided an overall recommendation of the proposals. The recommendations were based on impacts to student success, research capacity, engagement, infrastructure, return on investment, and risk assessment. Well, that's all the time we have for the News Rams.
But don't go anywhere. After the break, weather anchor Courtney Fromm will have the latest forecast and tell you what you need to wear tomorrow night.
Stay tuned.
Tune in to KCSU, your student-run radio station at Colorado State University. Live 24 hours a day, every day at 90.5 FM and KCSUFM.com. Live local new music now, and news, talk, and sports. KCSU, the radio voice of Colorado State, on the air since 1964.
You're watching CTV, produced by Colorado State University students, bringing you news, weather, sports, and entertainment from campus and beyond. CTV live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on campus and Fort Collins on Channel 11. Repeats at midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m.
The Rocky Mountain Collegian is your student-run news and information platform. Pick up your paper on campus or around Fort Collins Monday through Thursday with special editions Fridays. And check out collegian.com anytime for all the latest updates. News, sports, entertainment, opinion, and more. The Rocky Mountain Collegian, serving Colorado State since 1891.
College Avenue has been your student magazine for the last 10 years. College Avenue prints once a month covering topics that are relevant to the CSU and Fort Collins community. We also print special editions like the graduation guides at the end of each semester, the best of CSU each fall, and the orientation guide each summer. Look for us on racks around campus, off campus, or online at collegian.com under the College Avenue tab.
Welcome back from Break Rams. I'm Courtney Fromm, filling in for Neil Denman. Right now we're taking a look at our live cam, courtesy of 9 News Cam. Right now it's beautiful outside for a night in March, I must say, now that it's March, 2nd? Anyways, we've got partly cloudy skies. Right now it's 47 degrees outside. Like I said, a little bit cloudy. All you need is that nice jacket if you're going out tonight. Now let's take a look at what our overnight lows look like across the whole entire state. Right now we've got on our western slopes, we've got Grand Junction at 33, Vail at 24, and Gunnison with a chilly 10 degrees. On our eastern slopes, we've got Burlington, which is 29 degrees, Sterling at 27, Lamar at 25. Up and down the I-25 corridor, we've got 29 right now in Fort Collins, 33 in Denver, and 31 in Colorado Springs. So a little bit chillier at night. Like I said, make sure you grab that jacket if you're planning on going out. Now let's take a look at what our Wednesday temperatures will look like across the state and right now in Fort Collins. Tomorrow morning on CSU's campus, we'll have at 8 a.m. 45 degrees with partly cloudy skies. So make sure you grab that light jacket and the sunglasses because you will need those at around noon when we warm up to 62 degrees. At 4 p.m. it will get a little bit cooler again and we will have a high of 59, so you'll want to grab that jacket and put it back on for your walk home back from class. Now let's look at our Wednesday temperatures will look like across the state for tomorrow. On the western slopes, we've got a 64 in Grand Junction, a 41 in Vail, and a 35 in Gunnison, which will be our lowest temperature for tomorrow across the state. On our eastern slopes, or eastern plains, 64 in Sterling, 61 in Lyman, and a hot 77 in Lamar. Up and down the I-25 corridor, we've got a 63 in Fort Collins, 64 in Denver, and a hot 72 in Pueblo as well. Like I said earlier, the I-25 corridor, we are on a fire watch right now just because there is warmer temperatures for this time of the year, so we need to watch out for that. Alrighty, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at our 7-day forecast for the week. Today was a high of 54, beautiful day, a little bit breezy and a little bit cloudy, but not too bad. Tomorrow, similar temperatures, a little bit warmer. Like I said, all you'll need is that light jacket. 63 for Thursday and 64 for Friday and Saturday. Both beautiful days. Go out and enjoy that weekend. Sunday, we get a high of 69, so beautiful day to go out, head up to Horsetooth, go for a hike, enjoy that warm weather with the sun. We will cool back down on Monday with 62 degrees and partly cloudy skies for the beginning of the week. Well, that is all I have time for this evening with weather, but coming up, I'll have AJ Montgomery and Jason Ortiz break down what you might have missed this weekend in the world of sports. Stay tuned.
Don't worry, the 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Welcome back from the break. I'm sports anchor AJ Montgomery.
And I'm sports anchor Jason Ortiz. Let's see what you might have missed this weekend in Ram sports. Hot off the pressers, the Colorado State softball team wins its home opener against Northern Colorado by a score of 10-2. Rams senior pitcher Holly Ranke shut the door after giving up one run in the first inning and another coming off an error in the top of the sixth. Not only did Ranke kill it in the circle, she even helped her own cause, racking up 2 of her 10 runs batted in. But the player of the game goes to outfielder Madison Kilcrease, who went 3 for 3 with 3 stolen bases and a phenomenal game in the outfield. The Rams' next game is Saturday versus Nebraska-Omaha. This kicks off the Colorado State Classic. The Colorado State women's basketball team is looking to capture the program's 3rd straight regular season conference title. The game is currently going on right now. If you couldn't make it out, don't worry. We have all your latest updates and stats will be posted on our website at thecollegian.com. Just click on the sports tab.
13 Colorado State athletes receive honors in total of 16 events. The CSU women's team were crowned Saturday as the 2016 Mountain West Indoor Champions. The women's team received 6 selections while the men's team gathered 10 all-conference accolades. Elia Pete was the lone CSU woman to receive 2 awards in weight throw and shot put, while Tyler Schultz and Jarrell Mock each received 2 awards on the men's side. And these are all of the athletes that won the Mountain West title for their event. For the girls, Elia Pete, shot put, Isabel Brown, high jump, and Emily Romo, 400 meter. Then for the men, Hunter Price, heptathlon, Jefferson Abbey, 5,000 meter, and Mustafa Hassan, shot put. What a great year it's been for the 2016 CSU track and field team.
The Colorado State Club lacrosse team headed down to Tucson, Arizona on Friday to take on the 9th-ranked Arizona Wildcats. The Rams did not fare so well as Arizona's senior goalie Tanner Nago held CSU to only 4 goals the whole game as the Rams lost 6-4. Arizona head coach said that this was the toughest team they have faced so far this year and expected the Rams to get a win on Sunday against reigning national champion Lopes of Grand Canyon University. And the Rams did just that. In a hard-fought game, the Rams prevailed with an 11-10 overtime win. Jake Johnson and Colin McDonald led the way for the Rams, each scoring a hat trick. CSU will have its next game in Loveland against Boise State on March 4th.
The Colorado State football team has produced 2 outstanding athletes by the names of Rashard Higgins and DeAndre Elliott. These 2 competed in the 2016 NFL Combine to try to take their talents to an NFL team. Nobody knows which team our fellow Rams are going to end up in, but we do know how they are doing so far in the Combine. Higgins is 9th overall on the scouting list as a wide receiver. The 6'1", 196-pound wide receiver ran a 4.64 second 40-yard dash, vertical leap 32 inches, and bench press 225 pounds 13 times. On the other side of the ball, 6'1", 188-pound DeAndre Elliott ranked 57 out of 278 defensive backs. DeAndre's 40-yard dash time was 4.55 seconds. His vertical jump was 41 inches and is not bench pressed. Both of these men are putting in work. Higgins is projected to go in the 2nd or 3rd round, and Elliott has no projected landing round. Good luck to all these men, and hope to see them in the NFL.
All right, so AJ, here's where we're gonna compare Rashard Higgins to Laquan Treadwell, who is obviously the #1 prospect in the wide receiver rankings in the NFL. And look at those numbers. He doesn't really match up with Laquan, just being that he is a bigger wide receiver. But since Laquan did not run his 40, we don't know speed-wise who's the better wide receiver.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they're very similar, and I feel Rashard's going to give Laquan a good competition.
He should. On the other side of the ball, DeAndre Elliott, we have him compared to Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is the top corner prospect in the cornerback, defensive back position. These numbers seem real similar, but since watching DeAndre Elliott this year, his past years he wasn't so great. I mean, he's running a 4.55, but that's in a straight line. Have him defend one of the top wide receivers in the nation, I don't think he's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I think Jalen Ramsey's got him beat on this one. His 40-second time, just a smidge faster, and his broad jumps is a feet more, and his vertical is just a half-inch more. So I think Jalen takes this one.
Yeah, Jalen is a really good defensive back, projected to go top 3 in the draft. So now on to, we have men's golf. The men's golf team fell to 8th place in day 2 of the 2016 National Invitational Tournament in Tucson, Arizona. The tournament is being played at the Omni Tucson National Course, which is the home of the 2016 Mountain West Golf Championship in April. Heading into day 3, CSU is trailing the 36-hole leader Santa Clara by 11 shots. The Rams are led by redshirt freshman Kyler Dunkel and sophomore Colton Yates, who are both 2 under 142. Both are currently tied for 14th place overall.
Men's basketball regular season is coming to an end with only 2 games left against the Fresno State Bulldogs and the Air Force Falcons. The Rams are barely above 500 with a 15-14 record on the season. Their next game against the 29 Bulldogs is tomorrow at 9 p.m. in Fresno. If you can't make it out to Fresno, then tune in to the game on CBS. This road game will be a tough one, but when the stats are compared, it seems like the Rams have an edge, from points per game, field goal percentage, and three-point percentage. But if the Rams can't come out and boast those stats, then this game, it won't be pretty. Their final game against the 14-15 Air Force Falcons will surely and hopefully be a win here in Moby Arena at 2 p.m. March 5th. So don't make any plans and go and cheer on the graduating seniors for their last game here in Moby. Potentially ending the season at 17-14 gives the Rams a big help in trying to get into the NCAA men's basketball tournament later in March. Go Rams.
All right, now it's time for our annual game.
My favorite.
Yeah, it's a segment we like to call Who's Your Baller, where every week we each pick a player from the women's and men's basketball team. Whoever gets the better stat line gets a point. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Obviously, I did get on the board this week.
You got 1 point.
Got 1 point. Jamie Patrick had a great game.
Jamie Patrick.
Unfortunately, John Gillen had a really good game against New Mexico.
Up 18 points.
He had a really good game. So, but now we're going to go with this week. We started with a little special edition this week since it is senior week. We are going to go with only seniors. So my picks this week, I went with Teal Daniels and Jamie Patrick. Teal Daniels averaging 10 points a game. He gets mad rebounds. I don't know if there's anybody on the team that out-rebounds him besides Emmanuel Ogbo.
Teal Daniels is very aggressive.
Last week he only scored 8 against Nevada. But then Jamie Patrick, she's putting up almost 13 points a game.
Unbelievable numbers.
She averages just around 13. She shoots the lights out from the three-point line. It's ridiculous how good she is. But who'd you have this week?
You know, Jason, I picked Antoine Scott and Kiara Wary. Antoine Scott this year, his 16.4 points per game is leading the team. So is his 3.7 assists per game, and three-point percentage also leads the team. I think he's just going to have his best night on his senior night.
On senior night, he can shoot the lights out, too, from anywhere on the court.
Sure can. And then for my woman basketball player, I picked Kiara Wary. She's averaging 12.1 points per game, which is second on the team, and is actually leading the conference on 53% per shooting in the league play. So against Fresno State, I think she'll pull it off. And
she has to have a big game against Fresno State if they want to get this win and claim that title outright.
Yes, yes.
Well, don't go anywhere. Coming up, we have entertainment anchor Alec Erickson, and he's going to be breaking down the Oscars and even giving out one of his own.
Stay tuned.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Back from the break, Rams, I'm Alec Erickson, filling in for Nicole Hines. Here's what you might have missed this weekend. With a Starbucks found on almost every block in the United States, it never occurred to me that other areas were lacking in the coffee industry. While there is a presence of this company in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, one place that Starbucks has yet to reach is Italy. But recently, the coffee chain has come to say that they have plans to open up their first Starbucks in Milan in early 2017. The Italian developer, Percassi, is going to own and run the store. In the United States, the store gained popularity very quickly. That's been a challenge in the UK, and the company is hoping that opening the store will be successful. But with all the Italian cafes, I'm sure that Starbucks is going to have a run for their money. Colorado's driver license are getting a makeover in the next few months. Here are the new cards that are going to be more colorful, showing sniffles, which is a 14er located in San Juan Mountains that are between Ouray and Telluride. They're going to be full of new security features, including a star in the top right corner showing that the cardholder agrees to the Federal Real ID Act, which is having the cardholder's information laser engraved on them. These new designs are only being distributed as part of a pilot program in Littleton, Aurora, and Frisco DMV offices. If you still have one of the old license permits or IDs, there's no need to worry. You can still continue to use them until they expire. These cards are so much prettier than the previous ones, and I, for one, cannot wait until the new cards roll out. Casting news has finally been made with Stephen King's The Dark Tower movies. The Dark Tower is a series of books that King wrote over the course of a few decades and considers it to be his Lord of the Rings. The movies have been through a roller coaster of a production, and finally, the main character and villain have been cast. Idris Elba has been confirmed as the gunslinger and Matthew McConaughey as the mysterious Man in Black. This is one movie series to keep an eye out for the next few years. But on the movie news you might actually care about, if you've been living under the rock for the past week or so, you might have missed the Oscars this weekend. And yes, it finally happened. Leonardo DiCaprio got his gold statue, and the world is back on the right course. Now, before I break down all the winners, I have an Oscar of my own right here to give out. Last week, I asked all of my anchors who they thought would win Best Picture, Actor in a Leading Role, Actress in a Leading Role, and Best Director. The one anchor who predicted the most winners would win the Oscar. Let's see how they did. First off, we have the Best Picture. The winner was Spotlight, and it was a hotly contested category. Only 16% of the anchors correctly predicted that this would win. Being the journalists we are, how could we not be excited about this movie? Next up, we have Actor in a Leading Role. And as we all know, Leo already won this one, and the internet exploded. Surprisingly enough, every single anchor voted for Leo. But really, who else would this go to? If it went to anyone, literally anyone else, then there might have been riots in the street. Of course, we can't forget about the ladies, who just killed it this year. This one was hotly contested, and the winner was Brie Larson for her performance in Room. But how could we forget about her role in Trainwreck? Oh, that's right, because most of you probably didn't even know she was in Trainwreck. Anyway, only 66% of my anchors predicted that she would win. Everyone else thought Jennifer Lawrence would win. For the last category, we have Best Director, and for the first time in over 65 years, we have someone who won this award in back-to-back years. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The director for Birdman and now The Revenant, Alejandro González Iñárritu, took this one in another tightly contested year. Only 50% of my anchors thought he should have won, while the other 50 thought George Miller should have won for directing Mad Max Fury Road. Well, Mad Max did clean up on all the technical awards this weekend. Maybe now George Miller can go back and make Babe the Pig free. But that's just a thought. So who won the Oscar for CTV this year? I know most of you are on the edge of your seat, and those of you at home doing the math, it was a very close one. But we do have one winner. The Oscar goes to Neil Denman. But unfortunately, Neil isn't here to accept the award, so I will accept it on his behalf. Well, it looks like that is all the time we have for CTV. Make sure to tune in to CTV News tomorrow night at 7 or on thecollegian.com. Thank you for watching, and have a great night, everybody.
This is CSU TV 11 from Colorado State University, featuring university programs, student productions, and other community programming. Contact us via email, csutv11@colostate.edu, or call 970-491-6643. Thanks for watching.